Hey guys, this is Brian from LayerZero, and we are releasing our first ever LayerZero demo today. This is live on Testnet now, so all of these contracts are deployed. This is happening in real time on Testnet, or I should say real time. The video is recorded, but it was real time when it was recorded, and teams are integrating on top of it already. And what we're showing you today will look like a native swap. It will look like you're taking, we start on Ethereum and we only have ETH on Ethereum, and we jump to BNB on BSC, AVAX on Avalanche, and then back to ETH on Ethereum. But we don't have any BNB to start. We don't have any AVAX to start. What's actually happening in the background is there are multiple contracts that are being executed in this flow. So this could be anything, right? This could be a yield aggregator where you're unstaking on contract A. Let's say you want to move from Ethereum and there's some cool new farm on Solana. You're going to unstake your USDC on Ethereum. You're going to move it over to Solana and you're going to stake it on Solana. And you do that all in one single transaction from source chain. So you only started with Ethereum and with ETH in your Ethereum wallet, right? It can be any two contracts, any two arbitrary contracts across any chains, and you can do this sort of multi-hop processing with one transaction from the source, having only source gas. So really important to just kind of clarify what's actually happening in the background, because it will look so simple, you won't really appreciate kind of what's happening there. So in our case, what we chose to do is DEX. So we forked a DEX on Testnet, and we deployed that DEX on Ethereum, on BSC, and on Avalanche. And so what you're seeing is a swap from native asset to USDC, bridging of that USDC over the Stargate contract, and then an execution of the DEX on the destination chain, swapping the USDC to the native asset on the destination chain. So we're going to walk through, I'm going to show you side by side with kind of like what a current process might look like. We've walked through 6 of the most sort of common or popular processes right now, and we'll just show the difference. So I'm going to go ahead and click it off and get started here. And so, as you can see, the video on the left is starting out with Sushi. So that's the swap that's happening, and it's sped up at 2x speed. And again, I will say for the speed on the right, for the LayerZero side, take it with a grain of salt. It's testnets, so you can't judge sort of speed directly, but focus on kind of the ease of this transaction. So there's one transaction being signed here from source. We're saying, hey, we want to go from ETH to BNB. And so that transaction submitted. So what has happened now is you have done an ETH to USDC swap on the Ropsten. That USDC is being moved over Stargate. And then when it lands on the destination chain, so Binance Smart Chain here, it's going to execute that flow. So that's kicked off on the left. We're still waiting on the Sushi swap. So again, they're going ETH to USDC, sort of same thing happening here. And so again, when you're talking about kind of what this can enable, you think now, right? Like think about Sushi or Uni or any DEX, their current process, even if they're deployed on multiple chains, right? Like Sushi is on both of these chains. What has to happen now is the user swaps, and then they have to leave and go to some external bridge. So their swap has just been done, and they go to some external bridge, and then they need to go bridge that asset over. So that's happened right now, right? He has gone to Synapse, and he's going to bridge the USDC over Synapse from Ethereum to BSC. So we're bridging over. And then, but so the user has already left Sushi, right? They've gone to a completely other UI. They have to bridge over this UI. Then when they land on Binance Smart Chain, they don't actually have gas on that chain. So they need to go to some centralized exchange and get BNB and bring it there. And now, you're claiming your transaction or need it to instantiate another transaction. And then hopefully you end up back on Sushi again on the other chain, and then you'll walk through and do the swap over there. But like clearly from Sushi's perspective, you just want this to be one click, right? You want to live in the Sushi UI and you want to click it off and have the whole flow executed. So now we're on BNB, we're going to AVAX. As you can see here, transaction submitted. I think once he closes it, it will show that there is 0 AVAX in the wallet. So again, we have no gas on that destination chain to pay for anything that's happening over there. and this flow. So again, we've gone ETH to BNB. Now we're going BNB to AVAX. On the left-hand side, we're sort of still waiting for this bridge. Again, timing being not exact given its mainnet and testnet, but you can see the user at the left is already at 21 individual clicks to do this. So now we've landed on AVAX. So we have our native AVAX in the LayerZero side, and we're going to move that AVAX from Avalanche back to Ethereum. And so, again, just one single click, all 3 contracts are being executed with this transaction. I should say 1 click in the UI and 1 click in MetaMask. So two clicks or something. I'll give it that. And so now, okay, we've landed on Binance Smart Chain. We're here. We're doing another swap. And again, this is just more clicks, right? The user is in their 3rd UI. Hopefully they've ended up back in this UI. But this is the state of the world with all of this stuff right now. So this is one of the biggest things that LayerZero addresses is now at the application layer. All of those apps who want to be multi-chain, they don't need to have all of these disparate UIs. They don't need to have all of these disparate processes. It's one single transaction from source, only having source gas, and that entire flow is executed. And that's really, really powerful. So, this is, you'll see this in everything from casting votes across chains. So say you live on Polygon and all your stuff lives on Polygon, but like votes are being aggregated on Ethereum. Now you can potentially, depending on the protocol, now protocols can have it where you can cast votes from Polygon. You don't even need to have ETH in your wallet. You don't even need to have whatever other chain. Just a single click, your vote is cast. Now you have unified governance, right? Lending protocols, I talk about this a lot. So for lending protocols, you're talking the current process, again, is like, as onerous as these DEX processes is, where you are going to collateralize ETH on Ethereum. You're going to borrow, you're going to bridge, you're going to swap, both of which have a fee. You're going to farm some destination farm in that asset, and then you'll swap back, you'll bridge back, you'll repay the loan, you'll unlock your collateral, right? Like that's a nightmare. What you actually want to happen is collateralize your ETH on Ethereum, and then a message goes out and you've confirmed it and you can borrow directly a native asset on that chain. You farm, you repay, message comes back, collateral's unlocked. Again, DEX flow is very easy to see. Yield aggregator flow is very, very easy to see. You're a yield aggregator across a bunch of chains. You have, 10 farms over 5 chains, all which have different rates. And you want to move your pool of whatever asset you're farming, we'll say USDC, from chain A to chain B. Again, the process now of unstake, find a bridge, move the asset over the bridge. Okay, you've landed, but you actually have a wrapped synthetic. You don't even have the real native asset that you want. You have to find a liquidity pair for that synthetic. Not all of them have this. DEX out and sort of swap it to the real thing that you want to be able to farm with, and then farm on that chain. Well, now you can, again, in a single click, unstake, bridge in native assets. You get exactly what you want on the other side, and then stake it directly. And that's all from one transaction from the source. And again, like, you didn't need to set up these wallets ahead of time. You didn't need to get native gas ahead of time. So when you're talking about the future of application flows, I think you can see how different some of these things can be built and will be built as more and more people start integrating on top of this. So on the left here, we've seen we walked through kind of 6 processes of the most popular processes, more or less. So BNB to ETH, ETH to BNB, both over Synapse, ETH to Matic, Matic to ETH, both over Polygon, and then ETH to Solana, and Solana to ETH, both over Wormhole. And your minimum number of clicks for one of these is 36, and right, they go as high as 52. And so this is what you're talking about. All of these are multiple UIs where the user is leaving a flow. All of these require multiple sets of gas tokens. This in general, it's a nightmare that this is the kind of current state of user applications being able to build cross chains. So I hope this demo kind of illustrates what's possible. There is a ton more that we hope to be able to show. I'm not going to give exact timings on anything, but mainnet is coming soon. Integrations are coming soon. As I mentioned, people are building on top of this on testnets right now. We're talking to a lot of groups about integrations, which will be just like dead simple. And yeah, I think I can leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, you can reach out to me anytime, and I will be here for questions. So thanks so much.